بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is chapter 2, verse 114. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا أُولَئِكَ ما كان لهم أن يدخلوها إلا خائفين لهم في الدنيا خزي ولهم في الآخرة عذاب عظيم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. So, its English translation is and who is more unjust than he who prevents people from the mosques of Allah, from his name being remembered therein, and strives to ruin them. As for these, it was not proper for them to enter them except in fear. For them is disgrace in this world, and theirs is a grievous chastisement in the hereafter. As I said, this is Al-Baqarah chapter 2, verse 114. We have just celebrated the centenary of our mosque in Berlin, which is the oldest mosque in Berlin. And I think it's probably the oldest mosque in the whole of Germany. And it's been declared a national monument by the by the German government and is treated as such. And we had a whole weekend of events and celebrations and a peace march and so on to celebrate its completion. And there were people all over the world who would be there at the mosque from Fajr to Isha. And as I stood on the pavement outside the mosque, I saw a delivery boy. He was on a bicycle and he stopped and he walked over to me. I thought he was delivering something, some food or something that someone had ordered. He then asked me, "Is this a mosque?" So I replied in the affirmative, "Yes, it's a mosque." But his next question absolutely astounded me. He said, "Whose mosque is it?" And I looked puzzled. So he said, "Well, is it an Arab mosque or a Turkish mosque, or who does it belong to?" I replied that all mosques belong to Allah. They don't belong to a particular sect or a particular country and so on. And he looked at me puzzled. And he then said, "Am I allowed to enter it and say my prayers the way I want to?" So I said to him, "Well, mosques belong to Allah. This is not my house. This is Allah's house. I can't stop anyone from entering Allah's house because He is the owner. The house I own, if you try to enter it without my permission, I can stop you. But this is not my house. This is God's house. So who am I to stop anyone from entering the mosque or praying in it?" So he looked at me in astonishment, in disbelief, and he then said, "I need to perform the wudu." So I said, "That's not a problem." So I showed him where to perform the wudu. He went in and he said his Asr prayer, and he came out, and I was still in front of the mosque on the pavement. And he was extremely grateful. And he said to me, "Thank you. I thought I was going to miss my Asr prayer. Allah bless you, my brother." And then he got on his bicycle and he left. And I was shocked. What shocked me? Not the fact that this man saw a mosque and he went in to pray, but by the fact that we have fallen so far in moral values. We have fallen so far in our moral values that we are scared to go into a mosque and pray. And we seek a human being's permission, asking them. First we say, whose mosque is it? And then we seek permission. He wanted to pray. I assume he was a Muslim. I didn't ask his sect. I didn't ask his nationality. I didn't ask anything. What did this verse say that I just recited to you? And who is more unjust than he who prevents people from entering the mosques of Allah, from his name being remembered in them, and strives to ruin them? So that means, I don't know, let's say he was a Shia. I have no idea, I didn't ask him. But let's assume for the sake of argument that he was a Shia and he wanted to go and pray the way Shias do. So what? Where has God given me the authority to stop Shias from entering our mosques or forcing them to pray the way we do? And despite the fact that in the next sentence, you don't have to read 15 chapters of the Holy Quran before you are warned of the consequences of stopping people from entering houses of Allah. Its next sentence, which says, for them is a disgrace in this world, and theirs is a grievous punishment in the hereafter. The truth of this verse is becoming apparent in front of our very eyes. We behave this way. Are we not humiliated? What is happening in Gaza? What is happening in Lebanon? Is this not disgrace in this world? For them is disgrace in this world. Mighty Sunni Muslim nations surround a tiny Israel, and they dare not speak. There's Egypt, and there's Jordan, and there's Syria, and so on, and Lebanon, of course. But they dare not speak, even utter a word to denounce the genocide and what's going on. Is this not disgrace in this world? So if that part of the verse has come true, then what about the next part? And theirs is a grievous punishment in the hereafter. That will also come true. I can give you many examples. For example, I was walking down a street in Rawalpindi, and I came across a building with a huge steel gate that could only be knocked down by a tank. And a man sitting on a stool with a submachine gun in his lap. And I asked my companion, why does this building have such security? And he pointed to a notice just above the top of that guard. And this notice read as follows: entrance is not allowed without permission of the Imam and only to Ahl Sunnah. What is the verse of the Holy Quran? What is God's promise and what is God's instruction? Who is more unjust than he who prevents people from entering mosques of Allah and from his name being remembered in and strives to ruin them? Where does it mention that you need the Imam's permission to enter a mosque? Where does it say that it's there are Ahl Sunnah mosques and Shia mosques and this mosque and that mosque? There is no mention of these things in the Holy Quran. I wanted to quote the above verse to the Imam of this mosque and ask him how he would justify his notice in the light of this verse of the Holy Quran. But I was told that what will happen is that my action will lead to a riot in which I will probably be killed. So I didn't bother. I would have been killed for pointing out that the Holy Quran says that anyone has the right to enter a mosque. In the days of old, we lived in a place called Muslim Town in Lahore. The mosque used to be open. It had some shelves and so on which were locked, where books and things were locked, etc. But the mosque was open. There were no gates. Sometimes in the morning you'd go in and you'd find people sleeping on the mats. And you'd say, "Who are you?" And they say, "Oh, I'm a traveler. I saw this mosque and I can't afford a hotel, or I couldn't find a hotel. So I came in and I thought, I'll sleep here and then be on my way in the morning." That's how mosques should be. But now it's the other extreme. There are attacks on our mosques. People, Lahori Ahmadis, are being forced not to pray. What does God say? Who prevents people from entering the mosques of Allah and his name being remembered therein. And after such clear violations of the Holy Quran and its commandments, we look at each other innocently, as if butter would melt in our mouths. And we ask, why are we disgraced in the world? Why are we humiliated in the world? My answer to that is, you should be pleased that you're disgraced and humiliated. Yes, you should be pleased and happy that you are disgraced and humiliated in the world. Why? Because the Holy Quran, this proves that the Holy Quran is the word of Allah. And what it warned you of is coming true. For them is disgrace in this world. So you shouldn't complain. You should be proud that 1500 years ago, Allah's warning in the Holy Quran, if you behave in this way, this will happen, has come true. But again, we learn no lesson. We don't change ourselves. We just say, oh Allah this and oh Allah that. You know, the second holiest place in Islam, or the third holiest place in Islam after Makkah and Medina, Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, is under Israel's control. And they challenge the Muslim world. Come on, this is your holy place. We dare you. Take it from us. Salahuddin Ayyubi accepted that challenge when Christians said to him, we are Jerusalem, it has one of your holy places. Do you have the courage to try and take it from us? And he said, yes. Is there someone in the Muslim world who would take up this challenge? Who would dare to do so? But think about this. Allah told the Holy Prophet Muhammad in the Holy Quran that I have not appointed you as a guardian or a judge over these people. Your duty is to deliver the message, and it is for Allah to decide. But unfortunately, most Muslims have elevated themselves to the status of Allah. They will decide who will go to heaven and who will go to hell. They will decide who's a good Muslim and who's a bad Muslim, and a million other things. If only we followed the Holy Quran, which says our duty is to deliver the message and leave the rest to Allah. And our duty is to serve humanity if we can. Serve everyone who's in difficulty, regardless of his religion or his sect or his caste or his creed. We forsake that which God says is our duty, and we've taken upon our shoulders what God says is not our duty. May Allah have mercy on us. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Qur'anil azim wa nafa'ana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim innahu ta'ala jawadun kareemun malikun barrun rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم. اللهم اخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يعبد اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين. فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. ربنا Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانهر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده.
ربنا
الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أستغفر الله كل ذنب وأتوب تبارك ربنا وتعالى الإكرام. Thank you for joining us for today's Friday service. I leave you with the praise that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep everyone, every human, safe and sound and free from harm, regardless of their religion, sect, color, creed, or nationality. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.